we are joined by our last guest for the day. She is Dr. Theanne Griffith. She is a neuroscientist, a professor of physiology and membrane biology at the University of California, Davis. She's an award-winning author of The Magnificent Makers, co-author of the book series, and popular Netflix show, Ada Twist's Scientist, The Y Files. Theanne, welcome.
Thank you so much. I'm so happy to be here.
Oh, I am thrilled to have you. I loved this series of books, and I loved the series on Netflix. I found myself watching episode after episode.
They're lovely. It's so wonderful to have a science show like that. I have two small children and I enjoy watching it with them. It's really fun.
It is wonderful. The bio on the back of your book says this: you are a brain scientist by day and a storyteller by night. That is awesome. Can you tell me about that?
Absolutely. So I'm what we call a neuroscientist. So a neuroscientist is somebody who studies our nervous system, and the brain is a huge part of our nervous system. So I run a lab and we do experiments to try and understand how our nervous system can allow us to feel things like temperature, touch, and pain. So even though we feel those things through our skin, it's actually our nervous system that tells our brain, like, ooh, that was hot, or ooh, that hug felt nice.
Hmm. And then at night you put on your superhero writer costume and become a storyteller?
I do. So, as you've been talking about with the other guests, I absolutely have always loved reading and writing, and I love escaping into new worlds where I can create fun stories out of this world adventures or bring information that might seem kind of complicated, like how a space rocket flies,
Mhm.
and make it fun and easy to read for young children.
Well, you've done a fantastic job of that. Ada Twist is such a great character. Can you talk about Ada? Because she runs through these books and she is wonderful.
She is just so adorable. Like I just love her. I love her little poofball pigtails. She's who I wanted to be as a child, right? She's adventurous. She's strong-willed. She's curious. She loves to ask questions, as we all know. That's what got her to into a little bit of trouble in the original Ada Twist Scientist book.
Mhm.
So I just love all of those things about her.
I love her catchphrase. It's a mystery, a riddle, a puzzle, a quest. And you work that in every single book for her to prepare for this. So this book, Ada Twist, The Y Files, Exploring Flight. Do you mind sharing a little bit from your book with us?
Absolutely. I can read the first couple pages, which talk about really important concepts about how things fly. So I'll start reading now. Okay. It's a perfect day. The sky is blue and clear. If I look up, can I see outer space? No. I have an observation. I see planes, birds, bees, rockets, spiders. What? How do all these things fly? It's a mystery, a riddle, a puzzle, a quest. Time to find out what flight is about. Flight is when an object moves without touching anything on Earth. When something flies through the air, it is called aviation. When it flies through outer space, it's called space flight. An object needs four forces to fly. A force is a push or a pull that changes an object's speed, shape, or direction. Flight has four forces. The four forces of flight. First, thrust pushes an object forward. Drag pulls an object back. Lift pushes an object up. And weight pulls an object down. When we swing, it can feel like we are flying. A friend pushes us and we are thrust forward as we lift up in the air. Our weight pulls us down and we are dragged backward. Today, a big bird landed next to me. I looked at it. It looked at me. The bird flapped its wings. I flapped my arms. One of us flew away. Hint, it was not me. Why can't I fly like a bird? Look, a bird. A poem by Ada Twist. As I looked up at the big blue sky, I saw a bird flapping by. Now I have questions. I want to know why. How do they do that? And why can't I? So you have to keep reading to find out a little bit more about how birds actually can fly, although I'm happy to talk about it now with our remaining time.
Well, you talked about so many cool things: birds, planes, rockets, helicopters. But I want you to back up. You mentioned it. Spiders can fly. Tell us about that.
So spiders don't actually fly in the traditional way, but they do. So we all know that spiders spin webs, right? So spiders can also spin, you can think of them as like little parachutes. Let me see if I can find the picture in here. But when it's a nice, warm, and windy day, you will often find spiders shoot out like little parachutes that catch the wind. And because spiders are so light, they will just fly and use the wind kind of like a parachute to sail to another direction. So spiders indeed can fly through the air. Again, it's very different from a bird or a bee flying, but they can.
That is amazing. I did not know that.
I didn't know that until I started writing this book. That is the most fun thing I think about authoring these, because as you notice, none of them are about the brain. We have one about flying and flight, one about baking, and then one about plants. And I got to learn all kinds of stuff that I actually didn't know in writing these books.
Well, I did as well too. I want to be Ada Twist. She is so curious about her world and she's so smart and she's a poet too. Theanne, she's a lot like you. She's a scientist and she's a writer.
Yes, exactly. You can combine those two things. And also for everyone listening, as a scientist, writing and reading are a huge part of what we do. We have to write kind of like, you can think of them as little lab reports. Each time we make a discovery and we want to share it with our science friends, we basically have to write a lab report that explains what we've done and what we found. So being a good writer and being able to read well is a huge part of being a scientist.
Well, you must be very good at writing lab reports too, because I really love these books. With just our last question, as you said, Ada has explored flight and plants and cooking. Where's she going next? What's she's going to find out about in this next adventure?
Yes, the next adventure is called Bug Bonanza. I don't the hard copies aren't ready yet, so I don't have one to show you, but we are going to be exploring the creepy, crawly world of bugs. And I must say, I have a little bit of a bug phobia. They kind of can give me chills sometimes. And it was so fun to write this book and just see how fascinating they are. So one thing that you'll learn in this book is that many bugs like spiders, they don't have lungs like we do. They have something called book lungs. I learned that they're these little folds that allow them to breathe through their belly. It's super cool. So that was a fun fact that I learned about spiders that made me a little bit less scared of them.
Wow. Well, I can't wait to find out about bugs through Ada because it is a mystery, it's a riddle, it's a puzzle, and it's a quest. And I will be there for every quest she takes. Thank you.
Yay.